Hey there, MedCosmos here. Today, let's explore the fetal circulation. The fetal circulation is different from the adult circulation because the point of oxygenation is the placenta. The placenta is a tissue which is shared between the mother and the fetus. Now we have an umbilical vein which arises from the placenta, carries oxygen rich and nutrition rich blood towards the liver. In the liver, majority of the blood is carried by a vascular shunt called the ductus venosus. This vascular shunt drains oxygen rich blood into the IVC, which is actually carrying deoxygenated blood. Around 8 to 10% of the blood goes via the portal sinus and tries to enter the IVC via the portal sinus. So overall, in the IVC, we now have mixed oxygenated blood at the point of entry into the right atrium. We also have deoxygenated blood entering the right atrium via the superior vena cava. From here, the blood can go in three pathways. The first pathway, and the most predominant one, is it moves via the right atrium through the foramen ovale into the left atrium, and from there it moves into the left ventricle, then into the arch of the aorta, and finally into the descending part of the aorta. The second pathway that it can opt is wherein the partially deoxygenated blood can move via the right ventricle, then into the pulmonary artery, and in the pulmonary artery we have another vascular shunt which is operating called the ductus arteriosus, from where the blood traverses from the pulmonary artery into the arch of the aorta and then finally into the descending part of the aorta. Now, one thing we have to understand is both the foramen ovale as well as the ductus arteriosus, these are right to left vascular shunts. This suggests that the pressures in the right side are more than the left side. Why? The explanation comes from here. This is because the alveoli in the fetus, they are filled with fluid in the lungs. This causes an increase in the pulmonary vascular resistance, which causes the pressures on the right side to be more than the left side, thus helping both foramen ovale as well as ductus arteriosus to function as right to left shunts. Okay, we also have a very minor pathway of about 10% of blood which traverses via the lungs. Now, this is done in order to ensure that we supply a minimum amount of oxygen and nutrition for the development of the lungs in the fetus. But majorly, we now have mixed oxygenated and deoxygenated blood in the descending aorta, which traverses throughout the body of the fetus, and from here we have the umbilical arteries which carry the deoxygenated blood back to the placenta, wherein they can exchange the carbon dioxide for oxygen and nutrients. And this completes the fetal circulation. Now, comment the answers down below as to what is the relationship between the prostaglandin levels and the ductus arteriosus.